Now, Storm Watch 12 weather on News Watch 12.
All right, it's a very, very smoky outlook here in Medford. In fact, you can kind of take a look behind me and you can see the sun has pretty much turned into a bright pink and orange color from that thick smoke way out in the distance. And in fact, our AQI number has dropped all the way to roughly about 120 the last time I checked. So it has been dropping throughout the last several hours. Earlier, it was about 60 to 70 in terms of the AQI number. But we're going to go ahead and start off with our flood potential outlook through next week. What we're looking at is main fires are really going to be affected by the rain that's going to be approaching our area. In fact, we're going to be looking at the possibility for flash floods, which I'll show you that here in a bit, for burn scars, rivers, and streams throughout parts of southwestern Oregon into northwestern California. The good news is that this will mostly be a beneficial rain event. Now, in fact, we do have some high wind watches for parts of the area. You can't see it on this particular satellite and radar composite, but I'll verbally tell you about it. But for Northern California, for Wairika, Montague, down towards Mount Shasta City, we could be looking at wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour. And this is through later Sunday afternoon into the evening hours. Same kind of scenario for the Oregon coast. Those wind gusts could be upwards of 60 to 65 miles an hour during that same time. But we do have clouds and fog right along the Oregon coast. Smoke, it's pretty hard to see even on this satellite picture, but it is there. Now there's a lot of clouds way out to our west and some rain trying to show up way up in the northwestern part, just off the northwestern part of the state. There's a lot of cloud cover. That's all funneling our direction. That'll change our weather quite a bit. We're in the 50s along the Oregon coast at this time, 55 in Brookings, 76 in Medford, 73 in Ashland. In Siskiyou County, we're pretty much into the 60s and 70s, 72 for Weed, 66 for Dunsmuir. Extended out east, 60 to 65 for the most part for Klamath and Lake County, 66 in Klamath Falls, 62 in Lakeview. Now our next graphic is showing, again, this is our game of the week, our Friday night game of the Friday night blitz. That starts at 7 o'clock. Temperatures right around 75 degrees, and by the time we get to halftime, we'll be right around 69, 70 degrees with plenty of smoke in the air. Hopefully, the thickest smoke will wait until the end of this game, but it's funneling in our direction. We'll continue to funnel in our direction during the overnight hours from the southwest towards the north and the east. And you can see that for Saturday morning, a lot of smoke throughout the entire region. But the wind will shift over toward the west as we get to the later part of the day tomorrow, and then eventually that wind will start to shift from south towards the north as we get to Sunday. So wherever that smoke, the thicker smoke is, it will start moving from south towards the north. So the Oregon coast will actually start to benefit from that smoke once we get towards Sunday. Stormcast showing we're going to see high clouds throughout the region for tomorrow. The chance of showers, a very slight chance along the Oregon coast. The rest of us should stay dry until we get to Sunday, and then we'll start seeing scattered showers throughout the region. Rain will start to become heavy at times Sunday night, especially along the Oregon coast. You can see some of those reds and oranges indicating some very heavy rain, and that'll last through early Monday morning into Monday afternoon, and that'll spread inland here into the Rogue Valley and east the Cascades. In fact, our Stormcast rainfall amount showing some very healthy rain amounts, 1 to 3 inches generally along the Oregon coast, half an inch to an inch in the Rogue Valley. Same kind of scenario for Northern California, maybe upwards of a quarter of an inch east of the Cascades. Tonight we're going to be looking into the 30s and 40s with plenty of smoke in the vicinity. For tomorrow, 70s for the most part with some 60s out towards Lakeview, but 77 forecast high for Medford. For our next graphic, we'll be looking at our flash flood watch. There we go, flash flood watch for areas shaded in green, kind of like I was talking about before for mudslides and debris flows. There's some other numbers that I was just mentioning, possibly 2 to 4 inches along southern Oregon coast, anywhere from a half an inch to an inch into Rogue Valley and northern California. So temperatures will be below average for the next several days, but Oregon coast forecast 2 to 4 inches possible Sunday and into Monday before we start to kind of dry out towards the end of next week. Northern California will be in the 70s through Sunday, 60s for the rest of the week. Rain really starts to ramp up on Monday for pretty much all locations. You can see that same kind of scenario for the Klamath Basin. Will be in the 60s for the most part. And for the Cascades, temperatures will stay into the 60s through Monday and then 50s beginning on Tuesday. And last but not least, here in the Rogue Valley, will be in the 70s. Best chance of being dry weather will be today. By the time we get to Monday, it'll be pretty soggy throughout the region. So we'll go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio.
Oliver Smith and Storm Wrangler 12 at our Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week.